why rabbinical Judaism, why Moshe ben Maimon and other scholars in that particular faith chose not to count these as commands. Well, the reasons for some are quite obvious, and but a couple are not. And let me explain. Excuse me. There are rules. There has to be rules, about what constitute a commandment and what doesn't when you're quantifying them. When you decide what should be counted as a commandment, in whatever number it is you decide ultimately there will be, you have to have rules to determine what will be and what won't be. It's not really arbitrary. The same rules have been largely used by both rabbinical Judaism and Christianity for determining these things and for determining most of the things with translations and codifying the scriptures. They have a lot in common, and they borrowed from one another in doing that. And, well, they should have, because most of the things are pretty obvious. For instance, in the Rambam's final account, any exact or almost exact duplicates of a command found in the Torah is not counted among the final number. Obviously, I hope it's obvious to you, that it would make no sense to have the same commandment counted twice or 3 times or 5 times or more, as occurs in the Torah. Each one of those instances, for instance, the first 4 books of the Torah are the story of from in the beginning all the way up to the end of the time that the children of Israel spent at Mount Sinai. The book of Deuteronomy, Devarim, is a recounting to their children 40 years later on the brink of their entering into the Promised Land. And so, obviously, they repeated a lot of the commands, not quite all, but most of the commands, to those children. A last instruction of them before entering the land, when they split up, some to war, some to camp, and things got very busy. So duplicates are excluded. Also, any command that is a one-off, as you've heard me call them before. A commandment that's given to a certain person or at a certain time in a certain place for a very specific reason, probably not to be repeated. A command, and some of those are the case today. Some of these are given specifically to Moshe. Some others are given, were given, only for use one time at Mount Sinai or in other instances. Those things aren't counted in the final numbering of any composite quantifying of the commands. That said, we've been doing something different here with these teachings each week. We're counting every single time that the Most High gives a commandment. Whether he says, I command you, or thus says Yahweh, and with an instruction to follow, whatever it is. Now, that doesn't mean that that's a permanent number that we're going to use in our count of the commands. I'm giving them to you so you know what they are. And that's what we planned and I agreed with you to do, was tell you what the commands of the Most High are. So we're doing that, whether they're duplicates or to a certain person in a certain time or whatever it might be. However, once this number is distilled, removing the duplicates and the one-offs, we'll have a final count of how many commandments there are, each in its place and singular. I want you to understand that even though we have a difference in opinion with what is a commandment and what the commandments mean in many cases, with rabbinical Judaism, we're still going to follow the rules when it comes to distilling everything down to a quantified list. That list won't be perfect. We don't have 72 scholars here to help. We have several people, and we have friends and brothers and sisters who advise us after they hear the sum of each week's commands. We have decades of experience, both learning, keeping, and teaching the Torah and its commandments. It should be a pretty close list, and any scholars who do another one or did another one would come up with something slightly different, because everybody doesn't see everything the same. Unfortunately, and incredibly, the body of Messiah has not done the research, or to my knowledge, has never done a complete analysis of the commandments, such as we're doing here. And I understand why, because I long said, I'm never going to do that. It needs to be done, but not me, because it's a huge work. It's a years-long work to do this thing right and accurately. You can't do it in a hit and run. And I've seen lists that other individuals and ministries have produced. And some of them are very sad. Some of them are incredibly deficient. The fact of the matter is, it appears no one has done it. Not long ago, there weren't many people like you out there who cared or wanted to know all the commandments and learn every one. There was a movement, a blossoming of the people of the Most High, who are coming, whether through the names of the Most High or through the commands, keeping the Sabbath, keeping the festivals, and many other things, who are finding their way into the ancient path, the way. It's an amazing thing. I watched it happening for over 25 years now. And, we knew it was coming, but I never would have guessed it would start to snowball and move so fast. And people now are contrary to what I expected to see. Some people are hungering for the commandments of the Most High. They realize that's the next step in their evolution as one of the people of Israel. And so here we are, and we're trying to do this to provide it for them, because nobody else really has. I wanted y'all to understand that about what we're doing here, how we're doing it, before we go any further, because the commandments are going to be coming at a rapid pace. The book of Shemot is full of them, many pertaining to things you never thought you'd be interested in or that would apply to you. But the times are changing, and the shadow of the king is falling on us. He's coming near. We need to get this thing right. It says the saints, the Kedoshim, the set-apart ones that belong to Messiah is coming, are those who keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yehoshua Mashiach. It's important to us personally here, to most all of our members, of which there are probably 12 to 20,000. Some we don't even haven't even numbered yet. That we do this thing and that we learn these, And so you can look and know this is a command, this is not. This is why. This is what it is without the yoke of rabbinical Judaism. It's important. It's what the Most High wants and what the Messiah said we should do. So we're doing it. That's how we're doing it. And I hope that helps you to understand a little better how these things are done and how we're putting it together.